Good morning. So we want to start officially, and since you know there are some people who are following us virtually through our website, Zoom, our Facebook page, and our YouTube, I'm going to invite Millicent, our communication officer, to do official introduction to the virtual participants and to welcome us all. Then I'll take over. So Millicent.
A very good afternoon to you, friend of the Archdiocese of Nairobi, and to you, friend of Caritas Nairobi. Always a pleasure to have you make part of our online audience. Now, as is the norm, Caritas Nairobi usually organizes for a fundraising dinner, but because of the pandemic, we have not been able to do that. However, in today's event, we will bring you up to speed in regards to what the institution has been able to achieve in 2020. At the same time, we will furnish you with details in regards to the Beacon Boys program. Thank you so much for joining us online, and please do not go away. Eric, take it away.
Thank you, Millicent, for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all the invited guests, friends of Caritas Nairobi, we are going to start officially our lunch, all our stakeholders update meeting. And before we start, I'm happy that we have one of our own, our clergy today, our priest, Father David Jao. So I will request, please, to come and pray for us, please.
So let us pray, seated as we are. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, the Lord be with you. God our Father, you created us with a reason to make the world a better place to live. Through Caritas, Nairobi, so much is going on. Despite the COVID pandemic, these various stakeholders are doing their best. We thank you for what we have managed to attain up to now. We are telling you, Lord, thank you for giving us the opportunity of serving you through serving most of those going through challenges, the boy child, and those not economically empowered. We thank you for the gift of the sister director, all the staff, the various stakeholders. Keep inspiring them. Keep blessing them. For those who have been very generous to us, to assist us in our mission, locally and from elsewhere, we tell them thank you and we ask you, God, to bless them. As we have this luncheon today, we commend this day to you, that you may lead us and guide us as we celebrate what we have attained, as we discuss the way forward, and as we look forward to a more promising year 2021, give us your grace and be with us. Our Mother Mary, you have been with us, intervening for us. Take our prayers to your Son as we say, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. O Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and the hour of our death. May Almighty God bless you and give you a lovely day. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you, Father Jao, for the opening prayers. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the invited guests, I take this opportunity to officially welcome you. I'll be your master of ceremony for the next 1.5 hours. We want to keep our meeting very short and precise. You know, we are living in unprecedented time. So I'm requesting, if you don't have the face masks, we have them available outside. Just pick one. So this juncture, I want to welcome our Assistant Director in charge of administration, Sister Modesta Karuri, to do some official welcoming remarks. So, Sister, welcome.
Caritas Nairobi Board of Directors here represented, the Friends of Caritas Nairobi, all the invited guests, those who have joined us virtually and those who are here present, good morning. I have the pleasure to welcome you this day to this very special occasion. As Caritas Nairobi, it has been our tradition every year on the first Friday of December to congregate with our friends, our benefactors, and our beneficiaries. And in this occasion, Caritas Nairobi gives an account to all the beneficiaries, the benefactors, the partners, an account of all that we've been able to implement in the year. During the year, we are able to report how we have implemented the projects, how we have utilized the funds that we receive from our partners, and we appreciate in a very special way the support that we receive from each one of them. This has been happening for the last 9 years, since the year 2011. This has become part of our culture. In the year 2020, we're saying it's a very special year, because if it was an ordinary year, on a day like this, Caritas Nairobi staff, our partners and so on, they have been very busy preparing for a huge dinner where we meet in the evening and discuss and have a forum where we share with our partners the progress, and at the same time we discuss the way forward. This being a very special year, we are still here. We said, this being our tradition, being our culture, the respect we have for our partners, our beneficiaries and benefactors, we cannot skip this event. We are here representing different groups that support the mission of Caritas Nairobi in our endeavors to support the community in the mission that we have been given by the church. Being the humanitarian arm of the Archdiocese of Nairobi and being the social development arm of the Archdiocese of Nairobi, Caritas Nairobi has had a very busy year. We know at the beginning of the year, we were all affected by COVID-19. And at that point we said, we cannot just sit and say that our plans have been interrupted by COVID, and so we sit back and relax. We had an opportunity to sit down as Caritas Nairobi and to re-strategize and see how to be present to our members and to respond to their growing needs, or even to the new needs that came up with the coming of COVID-19. In this meeting of today, we'll be sharing with you the program updates, what we have been able to do amidst the challenges that came with COVID. We'll be sharing how each project and each program has managed so far. And we are doing this because we appreciate the support of you, our partners, our beneficiaries, and our benefactors. So we expect a very interactive session where we'll be getting feedback from you as we share what we have been through, but at the same time to work together towards creating the way forward for our programs. At this point, allow me to, in a very special way, to acknowledge the presence of our different partners who are here. I know they'll be acknowledged in a better way after, but I just want to acknowledge the presence of Caritas Nairobi Board members who are here present. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the self-help group advisory members who are also here representing their members. Also, we recognize the presence of CMA and the Beacon Boys mentors who are actually here today to tell us about the Beacon Boys program, which is the project that we were fundraising for last year. And they'll be sharing with us the activities, the challenges, and the success of the program through the year. And also from that discussion, we'll be able to see what is the way forward for our boys. On the other hand, we acknowledge the presence of partners that have already registered. Some have already joined us online. We have representatives from Cooperative Bank, from ICA Rayon. We have Britam, we have Caritas Microfinance Bank, we have CIC, we have Patches, and many more that are joining us. I welcome you once again to this forum. We hope that it's going to be interactive and you'll be able to get feedback from us. At the same time, share your ideas with us and help us see the best way that we can add value to the work we are doing in the work of evangelization. Asanteni sana and karibuni sana.
So thank you, Sister Modesta, for such welcoming remarks. And now we just go directly to our second agenda, not agenda as such, but our next activity, which will be program updates. So I want to invite Mike Kiburi, our Assistant Director in charge of programs, just to take you partners and all invited guests, what we have been doing for the last 1 year and some of the challenges that our programmatic activities have been facing. So please, Mike.
Thank you, Eric. Chief guest, Professor Wanderi, board members, priests, partners, invited guests, and also those who are joining us online. I would like to welcome you all to this sort of unique event for Caritas Nairobi. As my colleague, Sister Modesta clarified, usually would be having a fundraising event or a dinner where we call our partners and our stakeholders and our friends to share in a meal as we present to them what we've been able to achieve throughout the year and our ambitions for the next year. But this is a different year. It's a different sort of circumstances. As you can imagine, also from a programming point of view, it's been a very challenging year, especially for an organization that is set up to serve the community, to go out to the community, to meet them, to engage with them, to learn from them, and also exchange with them ideas, skills, and also interact with them in various ways to try and improve their livelihood. Meaning then that a lot of what we had planned for this year took a challenge or took a hit because of the COVID pandemic. For most parts of the year, a lot of our staff members were working from home. We did not have access to the community because of government restrictions. But one thing we need to note is, despite the challenges we faced as an organization, one thing was clear. We realized that our members in the community would be facing far deeper challenges in trying to accustom to a new pandemic that has never been seen before in the world. So this was a period where we asked ourselves how we can reinvent or reorganize the organization to be able to meet this very unique challenge. So throughout the year 2020, despite those challenges, our programming did not stop. We maintained our key thematic areas, and we went out to the community first observing the safeguards that were required, but also trying to do things differently so at least we can continue our programming. So now I'm going to make a short presentation of the various activities we've been able to conduct in the year 2020, what we've been able to do, obviously bear in mind the different restrictions. Despite that effort, obviously, you'll understand that most of what we had planned in the beginning of the year will have been pushed to the new year. So if you allow me, I'll step to one side here. I hope that's okay, but MC. Thank you, James. I think that's clear to everyone. So I'll just start with a general introduction about Caritas, our vision and our mission, for those who might be, especially those who are joining us online or here today who might be new to Caritas. Caritas is the aid and development organization of the Catholic Church, but specifically in Nairobi. That's why we are Caritas Nairobi. Caritas is the development organization of the Archdiocese of Nairobi. Now, Caritas is organized from the international level to the regional levels, starting all the way in Italy with Caritas Internationalis, then at a continental level, in our case, Caritas Africa, and then at a country level, Caritas Kenya, and then at the diocese level, in our case, Caritas Nairobi, and I'm sure you will have seen many other Caritases across the country, Nakuru, Nyeri, and the others. We all have the same purpose, to serve the community at the point of need. Now in Nairobi specifically, we localize our programming and make sure it is relevant to our community. So our vision in Caritas Nairobi is a just, self-reliant, and value-based society. And you'll see as we make a presentation about our yearly progress, we pay a lot of emphasis to self-reliance. And then being a faith-based institution, we put at the forefront our values. Those are the ones that guide us, those are the ones that inspire us in terms of serving the community. So our mission, which was revised in our last strategic plan, is inspired by Catholic social teachings. We work with strategic partners and local communities to promote integral human development. Integral human development being very key, meaning that we work to develop the whole person so that at least people can grow in mind, body, and spirit. So our values, stewardship, solidarity. Remember the theme for today is solidarity with our generation. I think that will come up again as we look at the Beacon Boys program. Human dignity, justice, and integrity. And our guiding principles are accountability, empowerment, partnership, professionalism, and innovation. As I mentioned, all our programs are localized. So in Caritas Nairobi, we recognize, or in the Caritas Nairobi, we recognized that these are the thematic areas or programs that would have impact in the community, that we feel will resonate with the community that we work with. This is Kiambu County and Nairobi County. So we have a food security program that also encompasses water and environmental care. We have an economic empowerment program, which is our oldest program, very well known as the SELFA program. We have a gender and youth empowerment program or development program, under which the Beacon Boys program sits. We also have a relief and charitable centers that we support. Among them centers such as Rescue Dada, Joy Home, Kweti Home of Peace, and also NARAP, which supports refugees. And you have a capacity building program that cuts across in terms of developing training programs both internally and externally for our stakeholders. So I think the first update for 2020 was in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Once the pandemic hit, especially in Kenya, we launched what we were calling the Baskets of Hope. And you will have had this through communications, through Radio Imini and other online platforms as well. And the main focus of Baskets of Hope was to provide nutritional support to those affected by COVID-19. Error there, but basically to support livelihoods affected by COVID-19. So what were we able to do, Baskets of Hope? We were able to get in touch with our partners, and the first support we did was to provide support to centers. In this case, one of them was Mary Immaculate Center in Bahati. Well, through our partners, we were able to provide PPE and COVID preparedness through equipment and also pharmaceuticals, worth almost 2 million. We supported many families through the Basket of Hope, which was a a monthly ration of food for a basic household. So where we supported 1,500 households at the beginning. And then we also continued month-on-month support to families in Kibera Parish, Our Lady of Guadalupe and St. Michael's Otiende. We also supported children's home, mostly in our charitable centers, with the same food support. We also supported families who are affected by demolitions in Kariobangi and Kayole, again to mitigate those circumstances of homelessness and also the effects of COVID. We also continue that support to families in Isili, Kariobangi, Babadogo, with support of food and also clothes, and also provided psychosocial support to many other families. So these are just pictures of some of the support interventions. This was Cheshire Home that was supported through Baskets of Hope and also food donations. This is one of the families we supported with through the Baskets of Hope initiative, mostly because this family was also facing flooding where the houses were demolished in the areas of Lari sub-county. This is a picture of the Baskets of Hope, really the basket that each family was getting every month to support them. And then just like we received quite a number of donations from many well-wishers within the archdiocese on the Baskets of Hope. Next, we have the food security program. And the focus of the food security program is improved food security for beneficiaries within the archdiocese, improved access to safe drinking water practices, improved knowledge, attitude, and practices related to climate change. And in the year 2020, we've done quite a lot. The food security program runs a breeding program. As you can imagine, this was not greatly affected by COVID-19, so we were able to continue that by insemination of 1,200 animals. We've been successful this year in terms of we've had from those inseminations 478 new calves born. Under capacity building, we're able to have 240 training sessions. And the thought right there is how we're able to do that. We were able to introduce COVID protocols in terms of training, where we had social distancing, provided sanitizers, provided masks to all our beneficiaries, so at least that the training sessions could go on. And I must say, the reason we did this, as I mentioned earlier, we recognize that we cannot stop our work as an organization because our beneficiaries will have been affected most by COVID, more than ourselves as an organization. And that's why we insisted on doing this. We also introduced SMS-based training for farmers, which is ongoing. Also in terms of environmental protection or mitigation, we distributed 21,000 avocado trees in the last few months, 7,000 gravelia trees also to 80 groups. So cumulatively over 2 years, we've supplied 35,000 avocado trees to farmers and also 30,000 gravelia trees. Apart from this, obviously being an environmental mitigation exercise, one of the key issues here, as you can see, we're talking about avocado trees, is to create a value chain or to create assets that the farmers can benefit from in the end, meaning then that in 1 or 2 years then, that becomes an income for the farmer as well. Still under the food security program, we increased our fodder production and livestock nutrition training. We were able to partner with the University of Milan, where we have designed a new fodder variety or daily meal variety for dairy cows that we hope we'll be able to introduce to the final formulation to our farmers. This was based on study that we conducted last year in terms of nutritional content of the dairy meal that is out in the market. We're currently conducting trials with groups of farmers in Kiambu, and we hope that because it's an improved formula, we'll be able to work with the farmers to introduce it. Through this program also, we started through the Milky Project, milk collection and marketing, so that we can be able to support farmers in terms of direct income for them, for those who are selling milk. This was necessitated by the fact that most farmers experience depressed prices at the milk market because they have no bargaining power. So we currently collecting an average of 4,000 liters from about 400 farmers, up from 1,000 liters in January or before COVID started. So the total this year we've collected is about 750,000 liters of milk, valued to the farmer of over 30 million Kenya shillings. We have the highest average payment to farmers, I'd say in the region of Kiambu, and even outside Kiambu, where we're paying currently the farmers 39 shillings, up from 30 shillings in January. So this contributes directly to farmer incomes in that community. Also, to be able to do all of this, we had COVID-19 mitigation practices. We had information sessions to farmers in the community about how to mitigate COVID-19. We distributed masks, sanitizers, 2,300 of them. And then as part of the milk processing and marketing, there's work going on in terms of developing our dairy processing plant that will again extend our support to farmers in terms of income and also dairy production. So a few pictorials. That's the dairy processing plant currently in construction, and we hope that by April next year we'll be processing milk. Just a pictorial of the milk collection facilitated by Caritas and also training sessions in the agriculture program. So we also have the self-help program or the economic empowerment program, and our focus this year or in the next few years has been increased number of beneficiaries accessing financial services, improved savings provision, improved social and microenterprise skills, and also improved social impact in the community, and then compliance, obviously, to financial best practices in economic empowerment. So despite the challenges, again, faced by COVID-19, we've had a tremendous year in terms of sustainability in the core of the program. Our total membership has actually increased over the last few years. So we're looking at the moment at a total membership of 146,000. So we've been able to register a growth. And the average savings per member at almost 50,000 shillings. Our average loan per member based on that total membership of 25,000. So in that, in the year 2020, we've experienced a spike in loans or an increase in people getting loans. Again, we expected this because of the pandemic. So the total loans at the moment are standing around 3.7 billion shillings. And the share capital across the whole program at the moment is 7.2 billion shillings. Total investments, again, this is funds that are not directly in use by the program. So we take that out to investment, mostly through partners, some of them represented here today. We're looking at a total investment portfolio of around 4.3 billion shillings. What I'd say is that behind these figures here, as you can see, the total membership, 146,000. Behind these figures, a lot of families, a lot of households that have benefited from the program over a period of 30 years. That is growth that has not happened, I'd say, in 1 year. It's taken quite a lot of time. So we take pride in the fact that we've been able to sustain that despite the different challenges we faced, especially this year. I'd say the difference we've had at Caritas in 2020 is that the consolidation of effort, of skills, and also the trust we have in our programming means that despite a difficult year that you have with COVID, these figures are able to be maintained. Testament to that is that, as you can see here, we audit all the groups every year. In the year 2020, we've been able to achieve 193 audits. This is because over previous years, we made investments in IT infrastructure, meaning that we do not have to visit the groups physically to be able to continue operations in 2020. And that is, again, is testament to the many investments that have been made in previous years in trying to stabilize the program. Also in capacity building, we've been able to train 859 members. These are officials, not direct membership. So these are officials in the program, self-help group staff, Caritas and Nairobi staff, and also training of officials who support in the running of the groups. And key in these trainings were leadership, strategic planning, entrepreneurship, and risk management. And also, during this period also, we've been able to register one new group through different promotional activities. So these are events that happened early in the year before COVID. This was the AGM I think a couple of weeks before COVID, actually, where we had His Eminence grace our event. And then we have a gender and youth empowerment program. We'll talk about this more through the presentation in the Beacon Boys program, so not dwell too much on this. But our objectives in the gender program are to promote gender-responsive interventions, equality, inclusion within the archdiocese, and also to promote socioeconomic empowerment to youth, and mostly youth, women, and men. So we have youth empowerment programs that promote economic empowerment, and also a women-focused program known as PROMIC. So in the last 1 year, we've been able to continue cluster trainings or small training sessions where we maintain safety protocols in financial management, business startup. And again, the reason we emphasized and made sure this went on is because as most people were not able to go to work or were laid off work because of COVID, there was an increased need for entrepreneurship training, entrepreneurship support, business support. So we increased our emphasis on that, and also to increase support in terms of trainings in savings and lending, and also good practices, especially where you're facing uncertain income flows. So there are good practices in terms of savings and borrowing, and also budgeting, and also where to access loans in such a period. We've also introduced in the last 1 month different technologies with partners, Caritas Kenya, where we are again on environmental conservation, where we have new technology in terms of cook stove technology to support again decreased energy demand at the household level. And also STP seminars at the parish level, those mostly happening through Zoom. So that's a brief presentation of our year 2020. Thank you for your time, those here and those also online. If there are any questions, I think there'll be opportunity to take questions towards the end. So I thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your day. Eric.
So thank you, Michael, for elaborate summary of our programs as Caritas Nairobi. I know you have left a lot of information, but you understand because of constraint of time, and also because we don't want this meeting to be more than 2 hours. So I think we are within the time limit. So if you look at the program, our next activity is just a very short panelist, because later when our director will be updating you on Beacon Boys, we want to talk about the boy child. So I'm requesting those who will be helping us, we can set the panelist. And about the Beacon Boys, you'll learn more about the boy child. And in today's, the whole panelists will be talking from a point of solidarity with a generation, the impact of COVID-19 on boys' life. Not that other children are not affected, but we specifically want to target on boy child because of his vulnerability in the society. We all know how the boy child has been not really neglected, but due to various factors, that we continued empowering the girl child, but later he realized the boy child is still at risk. So we need one more seat, please. And these panelists will be less than 20 minutes. So the moderator, would you mind you be at the center? Would you mind you be at the center, please? And so all the panelists, please, we have, there are 3? Joshua, I thought we have 4. Oh, one hasn't, okay. So then can we balance the setting, if you don't mind? Yeah. Because we're also thinking of our online participants, is it okay? It's okay. Okay, so invited guest and friends of Caritas Nairobi, I want to present to you Abel Omariba, who is our monitoring and evaluation coordinator. If technology allows, we'll be joined online by gender and capacity building coordinator, Marianne, who is with us in Zoom. Maybe there'll be some question that she'll be in a position to answer. So Abel will be our moderator. He's going to introduce our panelists who have been part and parcel of Beacon Boys program in the Archdiocese. So welcome, Abel. I think I need to sanitize.
So thank you very much. As you've already heard, my name is Abel Omariba. I'm in charge of monitoring and evaluation. I will be the moderator for this short session of basically wanting to know more about Beacon Boys program, the program that we are trying to empower during this year, and the resources that will be mobilized during this period will go a long way to support the Beacon Boys program. So allow me to do a quick round of introduction to my panelists. From the far end there is Joshua Njoroge, is the current Archdiocese of Nairobi main coordinator. Next to him at the corner there, we have Stephen Wangila, is the former CMA chairperson. And I'll be quick to mention that the Beacon Boys program was established when he was actually in office. And then next to me here is Anthony Moreithi, is the chairperson, Archdiocese of Nairobi Beacon Boys program mentors. And he's also a mentor in St. Joseph Jericho Parish. So, karibuni sana. So, as Eric just mentioned, we'll also be joined virtually by Marianne Sambigi. Marianne Sambigi is in charge of gender and youth empowerment, and it happens to be the program under which Beacon Boys program is implemented. So, maybe the media team will be on the lookout in case Marianne Sambigi wants to do some contribution. Okay, now let me first and foremost pose a question to all the panelists. All of them will have a chance to answer the question. And the first question is, what is your contribution and what is your role towards the whole process of establishment and implementation process of a Beacon Boys program? Let me start with Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Abel. My contribution or my role, as you've heard, I'm the chairman of the Beacon Boys mentors for the Archdiocese of Nairobi. I started the journey with the Beacon Boys program when it was initiated here, and since 2018, early 2018, I've actually been a mentor because I also happen to be a moderator of CMA in my parish. And since then, actually, my role has been mentoring the boys, besides now coordinating all the mentors for the Archdiocese of Nairobi. That's in brief. I'll be telling you more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As earlier told, my name is Stephen Wangila, former CMA chairman. We started this program working together with Caritas Nairobi in 2017. And most importantly was we started it in a way with the vision of His Eminence to work together with the boys in our diocese, of which it has been very important. We've been working together with the boys, working together with the Catholic Men Association, in conjunction heavily with Caritas, which has been very, very good. And they've really learned a lot during these few years that we've worked together with them. So my role is, I'm a former chairman, but we are still working together with the young boys within the Archdiocese. Thank you.
So thank you so much, and wishing our fraternity that support the boy child all the best. My role, as it was mentioned, as the men coordinator at the Archdiocese of Nairobi, we have been so much quite touched and involved, especially in the change of attitude and how we take the boy child. We started from 2017 with the initial challenge that was posed by His Eminence, and in our first brochure, that message was really well captured, and His Eminence mentioned in one of the functions that we had that a father's legacy is an inheritance for his son, and that every father should strive to instill a good heritage to his son. So our role, especially as the men coordinator, is how the men we have empowered through the CMA Catholic Men Association fraternity, how we can reach out to the boy child. Not only the boy child or boy children who directly have fathers as their fathers directly, but also the many other boys who do not have that privilege of growing up in a full family setup. How do we link up with them? So that is the coordination that we do with the boy child program. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those elaborate discussions over there. The next question will have been, because we know whenever we establish a program, there is a reason. There's a reason as to why any program is established. And mostly we start from the need assessment. We go a long way to know what are the key areas that people are affected, and how best it is that we can address the challenges that are in the community. And that is how a program is established. Now, I'll wish to ask Mr. Anthony Moreithi to briefly elaborate what led to the establishment of this program, Beacon Boys program. What were the challenges that the boys are going through that necessitated His Eminence John Cardinal Njue to think of it that to establish a Beacon Boys program entirely to support the boys?
Thank you, Abel. As we all know, looking at our society today or days back, we all know that there came a time when the girl child was quite empowered, because, again, way before, the girl child was a bit behind in terms of empowerment. And it reached a point whereby the empowerment of the girl became much, much more hype than that of the boy. And we have to agree that it led to a situation whereby the boy actually was kind of forgotten. And as we look at our society today, we find the boy child actually has been forgotten in our society, and that has led to a big gap. We do not have men for tomorrow, and because of that challenge, it is therefore time that every other man should take up the role, or our society should take up the role to empower our boys, because we need father figures for tomorrow, and we need men as leaders of the family in future. And basically that is what informed us to empower our boys so that tomorrow we have men who are responsible in our society. Thank you.
I don't know, Joshua, will you wish to a little bit, thank you very much for the response, to add to the challenges that led to the establishment of the Beacon Boys program?
So thank you. Alongside what our colleague Anthony has mentioned, it was a scream that was heard in so many dimensions, that the boy child, in a way, was maneuvering his way out. You observe at any corner of our country, and you find boy children who are looking for their survival. I'm not only mentioning the extreme of the street children or street families, where you find most of them are boys who would have otherwise in their potentials been very different if given a platform. You would even see in some families whereby the boy child really was not nurtured, so to say, and protected as the girl child would be. We are not saying that caring for the girl child is wrong, but you see, it's like the boy child is let loose to fend for himself. So what happened, and we have seen it streaming not only in the young ones, but even in men. This fight started with men. The challenge and the complaint was coming that men are not taking charge of families. And some of the blame is correct. But majority we came to realize that it was not necessarily because that they don't want to do it. Because every man loves his family. And so in a way, when he's not in a capability to do it, that challenge came. And then we cascaded this to look at where could this have come from? Is it from the upbringing? Is it the social aspect that are challenging these men? And for sure we came to realize that if we leave our current boy child or boy children the way they are, going forward, we might be saying that our men today are not responsible, but the situation would even be worse in the future. So that led to the initial and that really challenge that His Eminence challenging the director also through the Caritas Nairobi, calling the CMA to come on board and see where are we headed. And one factor that he completely mentioned, I quote him, he said, we may have good men today, but where is the church for tomorrow? Where are we heading? Because for him and for any other man is, what do you leave behind? It's not about what you have eaten. So this one has brought about the reason as to what should we do. How do we ensure that we create a positive attitude for the boys as they grow? Definitely they will become better men. How do we give them space? Because each man is given a very precious gift by God. And boys and men, they like to discover. And at this juncture, I will not be afraid to say, even at age 12, Jesus got lost because he wanted to discover something. So boys are outside there to discover. But what do the adults come to do when they find them? Just the way Jesus was found, asking questions and answering others. We need boys that we can ask them questions and we can help them to answer other questions. That's why this program came about.
Thank you very much. It is very clear. And at this point, I will wish to inform those other people who are joining us through social media that in case you have any question, you can drop it there. Our media team are on the lookout to get us the questions so that the panelists can be able to respond to them. Now, going on swiftly, we realized that this Beacon Boys program was established and initiated in 2017. Now we are about almost 4 years down the line, and the program has been implementing and carrying out activities across the Archdiocese of Nairobi. And indeed, these previous years, we've had enormous and very good achievements. Now, my question is posed to the panel in regards to the year 2020. How has the year 2020 been in relation to the implementation process and the execution of activities?
Thank you again, Madam Moderator. The year 2020, as we all know, has not been a very positive year in regard to our operations. I wish we talked of 2019 first, although we know the achievements that we made in 2019, which was quite tremendous. And we had planned to do much in 2020, but besides the plans, we were faced with the imminent and current situation of COVID-19 pandemic. So 2020, I would say we have not really been able to achieve much. However, we have managed to to have one meeting as mentors of the Beacon Boys, where we deliberated quite a lot in regards to what challenges the program has been facing and in relation to our boys. And again, looking at the way forward, when time normalizes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also want to quickly, now that Mredi has just mentioned that the previous years have been very good in terms of achievements, let me throw the question back to the panelists for them to be able to tell us the kind of achievements and the impact Beacon Boys program has created to the community since its establishment in the year 2017. Maybe I can give it to Chairman to try and elaborate a little bit.
Thank you very much. Since 2017 and when we started rolling off officially from 2018, after launching in 2017, there's been a very, very good change within our boys. For example, in the parishes, which really took off, I can say about over 46 parishes, we could see that the program was very, very well taken together with the boys, because the boys have been very, very happy that they had a chance to be listened to. Because during the program with our mentors, these boys also are given an opportunity to put in front their questions and their challenges also, which has been very, very, very good. And they've been always been putting forward their challenges. Another area I want to say is that, as you know, the core focuses within the areas of intervention was spiritual, culture, social, life skills, positive behavior change. These kids have been learning more of manhood, spiritual, which has been very good and most of which was lacking. One thing we have noticed also, even with our single mothers, who are bringing these boys together, giving them to the CMA men, we walk along very, very well with these boys and take them as our kids and work together. As you are aware, a very big percentage of the young boys are in prison because of one or another thing. This program has totally changed the boys, showing them that this is the way you are supposed to live. There's something which I would like to tell you. Some boys really even didn't know their values. They really didn't know, what do I do in manhood? And you know, it has been very, very important. Our mentors have been taking them through learning of what they should do as men. So I would say that There's been a lot in parishes which has taken place, and I believe with Caritas and the good work that they are doing, given this coming year again, 2021, we can work and do more and establish these boys very well in more parishes. And these boys will be men, even if tomorrow we are not there, we can be sure that we will live a society where strong men will lead in future. Thank you.
On the same, what the chairman who was sitting in the office during the launch of the program mentions, for sure we have seen a considerable change for the last 2018, 2019. Personally, I was directly engaged in several parishes, and specifically in our home parish, Gila. And when we started the program, initially the boys actually did not trust that it was meant for them. Most of the boys did not find it as if something good is coming for them. So they were doubting whether, are these people calling us here so that something bad will still come to us? So initially when we started, we had a lot of trouble. So boys would come, they spy a bit, you start with a class of 100. When you're finishing, you're about 60 of them. So it started like the life of St. Paul. You know, people started by doubting whether he's really converted. So for the boys, it has really been like that. But towards the end of last year, we look into it with a lot of nostalgia, because at the climax and crown of last year, 2019, the hiking activity that was organized through the same program at Gong Hills, you would see the boys who initially doubted that, is this program ours or is something coming in between? They were very happy about it. They liked it. Actually, most of them are even the parents and mentors. The day was too short for them. So what I'm saying, with this year, we looked at that we get into 2020 and activities would roll out even better. Why? We thought that we would have established already units in the deaneries, that almost even additional parishes would have joined. But the sad event that the churches become closed. And this is the only place of meeting. So now look at it. It's like that the text in the Bible which says, "Arrow hit, strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered." So boys were completely scattered. Occasionally I've been meeting with them, and you could not invite them together because also of the regulations that are there. And one day I met them in alongside a cattle dip. There's a field. They were playing football. And there were very many. No one had called them. There was no mentor, actually. They mentored themselves. So I was asking them, "You're not afraid of corona, and you are playing football?" They said, "No, let corona find us here." So I find a lot of initiative in them. So what would say, it is coincidentally not a very fortunate year, 2020, because I know we were trying to discuss with the mentors in the meeting what can we really be able to do. So what we are saying is, given time, and with the current pandemic, last week on Friday, we had an opportunity to visit Gatodo Dinare, where they had organized a joint event of PMC. PMC is the association, the PMC, Children in the Church. But through the mentors, the animators there, they had tasked and invited only the boys. So the mentors who are in that dinner, they said, if only the boys are coming, that is Beacon Boys program. And we were invited, we did not even ask many questions. So when we got there, we found over 500 boys together. And when we asked the organizer, he said, with or without COVID, boys are still there. Life is still moving on. They had some sad eventualities that some 2 boys who are to be in class 8 this year, they were very ready to become men through the rite of circumcision. But they were saying, if you are not going to get into the class 8 finishing, we shall not get that advantage. And actually we were told 2 boys committed suicide because they were trying to push that. If I was in class 8, I would finish, I would cross over through the rite of initiation, and the like happens. So the dinner organized, bringing these boys together. And what we told them, and we are telling all the boys outside there, let us not look at circumcision as only that particular part of the body that undergoes the ceremony. We can do it in a larger scale through our mind, through that kind of affirmation and maturity. So we really need more interventions for the boys. We are not yet there. We need a lot of it. We need a lot of it. That now we are accepted in the society and in the parishes. There's much that we can be able to do.
Just to add on what my two colleagues have said, as I said, in 2019, there was a lot that really happened, and I was part of it. And one of the key things I really remember very well for 2019 as an achievement is the transformation of the boys. We interacted with the parents, and actually we needed to know how are the boys in terms of their behavior or change at the home level. And quite a number of them actually came out and said the boys have really changed. They have gone into taking household activities as never before. Their mannerisms have changed in regard to how they used to respond to the parenting. And there's an incident in my parish actually where one lady said that she had to join CWA because she could not face the challenge of the boy joining Beacon Boys program, and yet her herself, she was not even a CWA. She came out quite strongly and said she felt quite challenged, and that was something very positive. Again, in regard to other things, the level of confidence that was not there before in our boys has actually gone up because our boys had started even becoming less confident than even the girls. So that has actually been interpreted to mean a lot in regard to the kind of boys that we are growing up to be men of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we can talk because there are so many achievements that are related to the Beacon Boys program, and you can visit our website so that you can learn more about what we are doing through our various programs, and specifically the Beacon Boys program. Now, I'm told Marianne Sambigi, who is the coordinator in charge of gender and youth empowerment, under which this program is implemented, is also online to make her contribution. But I'll wish that we wind up. So as we wait for Marianne to give her remarks, I'll wish that we answer the question, how do we move forward from here? Now that we know, indeed, there are several good things that are happening in relation to the Beacon Boys program. What is it that we can do so that we can even harness more and reach out to more boys in the community?
Thank you very much, the moderator. Of course, we have been looking at we are working on a new manual. When we started, there was a manual that actually guided the program, and the stakeholders are working on the program under the leadership of Marianne Sambigi, and we are grateful about that. The manual was actually an effort through the contribution of most of us who have been in the program for some time, because we needed to give it more strength in regard to the content. Again, moving forward, we are looking at how we can reach out. Currently, as you heard, we are only 46 parishes in the entire Diocese of Nairobi. Out of 114 parishes, only 46 have Beacon Boys program. That is quite a small number, but moving forward, we hope to sensitize and reach out more, and especially through our CMA settings or groupings to encourage more men and more CMA groupings to embrace this idea, because it is actually a men's idea to grow our boys to better men for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To me, what I can say is that we really need to continue the same way Caritas Nairobi and the Catholic Men Association are doing. We need to continue talking to these boys, making seminars. We need to interact with them more so that we can continue bringing them up and adding the numbers. The Archdiocese of Nairobi is very big, and I believe that the numbers that we still have a lot to do in terms of organizing seminars. The way my brother here is saying, we really need to focus on our objectives, the ones that we had kept about transforming the boys actively involved in church activities, peace and harmony in families, reduced crimes cases, increased school rotation of boys, improved performance in schools, strong and healthy male youth. So I believe is that we have still a long way to go. We have still a long way to go. Caritas, we kindly say, let us stay together with CMA so that we can focus and work, because we have a lot. But I believe that we are on the right course. Let us encourage the boys more. Let us bring more boys on board so that at least this program will be very successful. Thank you.
I would wish that Joshua speaks at the last. Now, at this point, I want to bring on board Marianne, and I would wish that Marianne will make a very brief contribution that will actually be the final from her side.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Abel, confirm, please. Okay. So thank you, everyone, and I'm glad to be with you. This is an excellent job that is going on. I'm proud of the panelists. As you can see, this is a very well-coordinated program that has everyone knowing their role and their stake in the program. And seeing the journey from 2017, I think it's very, very clear that we've come a long way. We've grown in a very big way. And I'm proud to have been a part of this journey till now. Of course, the pandemic came, but we choose to really focus on what we were able to achieve. And this was brought out very clearly by Anthony and Juan Gila and my colleague Joshua, whose strong, the strong bond that we have in those various categories of groups has made the success of this program. I do not wish to go back on the successes or the challenges, but I would like to talk about what is ahead of us. As reported, we know that we have 46 parishes. In the Archdiocese of Nairobi, we have 114. One of the things that I can say confidently is that this is the one program that we've not had struggles. It is a program that we structured right from the beginning, and I'd like for all that are listening to understand that why we probably became a success story is because this was not a one-sided program. It was not about the Secretariat, for example. It was not about the CMA. This was a program that brought together Caritas Nairobi, the pastoral department, and specifically our main stakeholder, the CMA. And because of that, even when we came up with our manual to guide the mentors and everybody else in the program, we insisted that the program is two-pronged, meaning our target was both the men and the boys. And so we've grown together. Many things have come together, and it has been a learning process. Having said or talked about the learning process, Anthony just mentioned about a manual that we are coming up with. And one would wonder, we seem to have covered every basic level in the boys. But if you notice, the class 8 boys, once they go to Form 1, they are still in our age set, which is the first group is 9 to 13, then 14 to 17. So 14 to 17 are still in high school. They still belong to Beacon Boys. So what is it that we can do to add value to what we have already taught them? And so you'll find that in our new level of the manual, we are going to be a little bit more serious, because we'll be talking about things they may never have heard about. We are going to be talking, for example, about things like finance, relationship with money, because these are things that even most of us were never taught. We are going to talk about things like communication to build on their confidence even more. We are going to talk about organizational skills, conflict management, which involves negotiation. You heard Joshua talk about suicide cases. recently we heard about the boys, about early girl child pregnancies. Who was the culprit? So we need to really, really work on some of these things, and this can only be done at the level 2. We are proud that we are already setting ourselves up, but with a little bit more support from our partners, we know that we can go even further. There is so much that we need to do for the program, and I'm glad that this time we were still considered for our partnering support, because apart from the manual that we are developing, we also need more promotional materials, and we need more trainings. As we build up on the 46 parishes, we are bringing on board also other mentors, other people who are coming in, and so we'll need a lot of trainings for these mentors, and we'll need a lot of sessions with men so that they get to understand the program more. So we thank you, our partners, and we really appeal to you that you continue supporting the Beacon Boys program, because it is one transformative program. And I can assure you, I have been establishing various programs over the years, but I think this is one of the best success stories in all the work that I have seen, because there is no struggle, everybody is involved, and it is a pressing need, not just for the Archdiocese of Nairobi, but the whole country. So I believe that we are doing the right thing, and therefore I plead that we continue supporting one another. Thank you very much for this opportunity. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Marianne. We really appreciate. Now, I left Joshua to speak last because we are unfortunately running out of time. And I want Joshua to still address the way forward. And sorry for the people that have been joining us through the social media. We've not been able to answer the questions that you are posing. But I can see, Joshua, you'll answer one of the questions that I've seen here. There is one person from Kiambu asking, does the Beacon Boys belong to only Catholic children? You'll be able to answer that as you give your final way forward as we continue. But bear in mind that you will be speaking for the last time as I give the rest to also conclude.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marianne, for following that and that very insightful commendation for the program. I will respond to the question in the line of the way forward because it is there. And in a way, I say, in our way forward, we are looking and embracing more partnership with the people and the resources that we can have, especially also the people giving their time to the program. And in a very special way, I would wish to acknowledge the efforts that I have personally seen from Professor Wanderi, who is in our midst here. Both here, when we talked with him some times ago, and also down in our home parish. Because some things we are trying to do, in this program we want to see how can we have school interventions? How can we reach the boys in the schools where they are having much time? Because in our program we said, yes, we have the church platform, but can we still meet them more where they go along their day-to-day activities? And a good example is where I mentioned for Professor Wanderi and Jenga Primary School, now Archbishop Jenga Primary School. We had already made a request. The principal had already invited us to do it, but due to COVID-19, we were not able directly to do it. And so many, a number of schools. And I even had, sorry, this is not a joke, but it's a bad maybe information getting somewhere. Some people thought Beacon Boys is a school. And when we were talking about registering of Beacon Boys, 5 boys from a school in Nyamangara Parish were officially transferred from the primary school to go and join the Beacon Boys school. And the letter came to the Education Secretary at the Archdiocese of Nairobi here, Father Kiari. Then Father Kiari called wanting to know more information. So myself and Marianne, we went down to the father in charge, Father Simon Warari, and we talked with the men because we did not want to blow off the candle. It's the information that they had received that was not timely, maybe very expounded. So that intervention, we are looking forward to it. How can we get the boys from the schools, talking with them down there, and then we to put it in an integral manner. Number two, underlining also with the question that came, is Beacon Boys only for the Catholics? And the answer is no. Actually, we have had even cases of people even embracing Christianity, not because they were told to. We have cases of even Muslims, boys, who said, wao watakuwa wanaenda kwa Catholic kuna program ya boys. And after some time, I'll not go back into that because the success story is already written about it. You know, it's not only for the Beacon Boys, for the Catholic boys. This program is called Beacon Boys Program. Why it is different from PMC, Pontifical Missionary Childhood? It's because PMC is directly under the Catholic structure. But Beacon Boys is embracing the society, so to say. And in the motto of CMO, we talk of good family, good church, good society. So the Beacon Boys is under the good society. What we want to reach to is, don't only make boys to be good in the Catholic Church. Outside there, in the shop, there's nothing called Catholic. There is no biscuits for Catholic boys. You go to the shop and you buy for everybody in a general way. Another way we are looking forward to it is, how can we be able to reinforce deanery units? That we can have activities for the Beacon Boys in the deaneries. All other activities, we have that structure. How can we be able to do that? The inclusion of all the parishes in this venture for the empowerment of the Beacon Boys into responsible men, we need to really fast on that we can have a deanery unit structures. How can we still have, even in a higher level, archdiocese activities with the Beacon Boys? We thought, and we sat here, including our panelists here, coordinator Abel, we could even organize for tournaments. How can we bring these boys together? Talents show. The boys who are not, and the CBC has even brought it even better. Boys may not directly be that professional in the class, but they have so many other kind of talents that they have. And then also the education boost that our chairman, former chairman, Stephen Wagila mentioned. We have seen also good performance coming out. Boys knowing that if you get good grades, you can also do something better in the society. And lastly, we are looking forward to how we can integrate our Beacon Boys program into the initiation platform. How can we be able to transit these boys that from this level, and with this, the new manual coming up, how can we transit these boys from primary level to the next level? What does initiation and maturity mean to us? So we still have an open forum, an open mind on how we can be able to move ahead. All these courtesy to the support we get from the pastoral department, courtesy of Father Wallace, our coordinator, then chaplain for the Reverend Father Dr. Stephen Bogwa. They are really in support of the program, and that is why even our penetration in parishes has been very, very spontaneous. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Mine is very short. I think I'll just rush in what they've asked about if the Catholic boys only. I remember in 2018, when we are with Caritas, Sister Bachi, I think in Karen, we say that we'll be open even to the other outer society, because we want to make a nation. We want to make all these boys belong to one nation. In whatever behavior goes on, it hurts the whole country. So we are trying to mentor a nation. So I would just urge, let us continue working together with the church, and I would kindly like to urge our priests also. I thank them for the support they've really given us, and those parishes also where we are going to knock the doors coming, we need to, 2021 as chairman is saying, we'll really need to work more and more. So our parish priests, kindly, we will work together with you, and Caritas for the work that they are doing together with the CMA, Marianne and Joshua, and our chairman here. We say that we are open to see a better generation in future for the boys. So kindly, those who are supporting us, let us support us for a better nation, for a better boys and better men in future. Thank you very much.
Sorry, just in conclusion, I wish to really, really thank all the people who have walked this journey with us, and especially Caritas Microfinance, because you have been actually a very, very key supporter from the first time when we had the first dinner, I believe, at, was it at Don Bosco? All the key stakeholders in regard to Marianne and Joshua, who have given us all the backup and support in regard to trying to get all the materials. Remember, when we started this journey, we did not have tools to work with. But people like Caritas, you came and gave us even some materials like the footballs for the boys. And going forward, I also want to call on board in this particular panel, because we have a platform, all the CMA men, wherever they are in the remaining parishes, that we need to embrace this process as ours, because it is ours. And a few years down the line, we should be able to be proud of ourselves that we actually changed the society. The other bit I want to say is that also parents, wherever they may be or watching or listening to this, they need to know that we are doing this for the society and for their families, and it's very important, because when you change a boy, you change a man, and of course you make a foundation for a family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we've come to the end of this session, and I'd wish to really thank my panelists for the very valid contributions that they've made. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the people that have who had joined us through different social medias. And once again, as I said, there is a lot that you can learn. Kindly visit our website, www.caritasnairobi.org, so that you can get to learn more about Caritas Nairobi and the programs that we implement. And once again, I also want to thank all of you for your active participation through listening. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Abel. I mean, we give them a good clap. Sorry, I know if you look at the program, we are supposed now to be doing our refreshment, but I think the discussion became so sweet that they extended. So I'm happy that the panelists have unearthed everything that we need to know about the program. And our next activity actually is welcoming our director, Sister Mary Bashi. I know your work is easy now, because I think the panelists have concluded everything. But let's welcome Sister Mary Bashi to give us her remarks and to talk more about Beacon Boys. Sister.
Our chief guest, Professor Peter Wadedi, Caritas Nairobi board members who are present, our both physical and virtual participants in this event from Archdiocese of Nairobi Secretariat, representatives of from different corporate institutions, CMA of Fraternity, from Caritas Nairobi Family Network, and the beneficiaries to Caritas Nairobi social development work within the Archdiocese of Nairobi, friends and invited guests. I will be brief because my work has been well taken care of by the panel that was here. And actually, if you look at the program, I was supposed to do the Beacon Boys program updates, way forward, and the appeal. A big chunk of that has been done. So I will start by saying that we are gathered here today to share the updates on our development and transformation interventions running under Caritas Nairobi. And one of these initiatives is the Beacon Boys program, hence the theme of today's event, which is solidarity with a generation and narrowing down to the impact of COVID-19 on boys' lives. The Beacon Boys program that started in the year 2017 has been the pride of the Archdiocese of Nairobi. Why? Because until today, it remains a unique program that many of other communities and also dioceses would want to replicate from the Archdiocese of Nairobi. We appreciate Britam in a big way, and especially Dr. Benson Waidegi, who launched for us this program in the year 2017 on 8th of December and decided to champion it. And he is doing that until today. Must say you are here with us. Make sure that you extend that word of gratitude to Dr. Waidegi. And we cannot talk about Dr. Waidegi, and we fail also to mention Mr. Gila. Thank you very much, because you also declared on the same day that you would want to champion this program, and that is what we are witnessing, even as we participate in this event. The program was designed with the concept of wanting to transform the boy child into a responsible man in the society, with the aim of empowering the boy child in the Archdiocese of Nairobi and beyond. This is a program that runs in collaboration between Caritas Nairobi and the Catholic Men Association of the Archdiocese of Nairobi, like it had been mentioned. And we want to appreciate in a big way the role the CMA of the Archdiocese of Nairobi has taken passionately, and they have taken the leadership in the moral and spiritual upbringing of the boy child. And that's why we are saying it is a unique program, and we take pride in it. During the development of our Beacon Boy Child Project, we together, we Caritas Nairobi and the CMA, we envisioned to offer mentorship, model, and rehabilitate young boys aged between the years 9 to 17. And today, we are here to confirm that our vision is still alive and active. By the launch time on 8th of December 2017, the program by then had started with what we call the pilot phase of 14 parishes, taking care of 14 parishes only. And today, we have heard that the program has spread to more than 46 parishes. And just to mention that from our records, the program has brought together 2,273 boys and 1,450 men who have volunteered to accompany these boys. Today, as we gather here as stakeholders and as friends to this program, we note that for those who have been actively participating in all these activities, they have really done well, and the program has registered a number of achievements. Some of them have already been mentioned before. And I just want to add a few. Whereby we are talking about the program having been able to train 40 mentors. And that is not a small number. Actually, these are gentlemen who embraced the program and have taken the role of becoming champions at the level of the parishes. We have heard that we were able to develop our facilitators guide that is guiding our work on the ground and giving the direction on what to be done and what content to be transmitted to these young boys. We also noted that we have been able to put together both promotion and educative materials that are guiding our work. We have been able to do a lot of trainings at the diocese level and also at the deanery and parishes level, whereby both men and boys have been trained on the Bacon Boys program content. Extracurricular activities have already been noted. We have had retreats, sports, hikes, cultural festivals, and all that, just to mention a few. And we also want to note that since inception, we have also had so many stories that have been also narrated. We have seen many taking up the role of mentors. We have seen boys participating in different churches and society activities, meaning that now the boys are more visible than before. We have heard even Mr. Moridi talk about the relationship between the fathers and the sons being noted because of the confidence the program has brought about. But we are saying that as we note all these achievements, we also regret a bit that in the year 2020, all the activities we had planned to do, we were seriously affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And what we are saying is that we have really experienced challenges that make our program almost stop. But we thank God that the mentors on the ground, they were able to sustain the program and keep it going. We all know the schools were closed. Our churches were closed for some time. And when we are talking about the schools and the churches closing, we are now talking about the boys being read idle. What happened? The boys' activities were no longer visible. We have a good number of our young boys who also went astray. We have had some of them taking alcohol. Those are true stories that are coming from the ground. Others learned how to abuse substances, and all this is affecting the milestone we had already realized. We also are talking about even our parents relaxing. For those who had been able to follow many comments that come from the media, there are those parents who really got tired within the first 3 months, having these children at home and all that. And so what happened is that our boys, together, definitely with young girls, they were just left idle. No wonder that is why we are also talking about the number of so many girls who are affected. And the related issues we are talking about, even about the pregnancies, early pregnancies, we cannot rule it out. Definitely, the same group or category of boys we are talking about within the age bracket of 9 to 17, they have been participating in this mess. So we appreciate and congratulate the CMA leaders for organizing a forum whereby they were able to bring together all the mentors, and they were able to deliberate on these challenges and also to decide on the way forward. And actually, they were also tasked with a role or responsibility to come up with an immediate work plan. Some of the proposed way forward activities we already mentioned here. And my work would be only to make additions. There was a proposal, and we wanted to see this happen, to design and run online sessions for both boys and men. This, we can only be able to do it through the modern technology, using links like Zoom or media platforms like Zoom, Facebook, WhatsApp, and the like. We also have a proposed way forward that we would want to have a database created whereby we would be able to make a follow-up, because having the data put together with the names, the contacts of the parents and the boys in different parishes, that will also help us now make a proper follow-up on individual cases. We are also working on mobilization on the ground to make sure that we bring back the boy, a child, back to church. Seminars, workshops, and activities that have already been proposed. We are also talking about reaching out to the parish priests and see where it is not possible to have the physical masses for these children, whereby they can also consider doing online masses. There was a time that we are getting used to that. It can still be done now, wanting to take care of the boy-child needs. Each parish and the mentors on the ground and the leaders of the CMA was tasked to come up with a work plan of the activities between October 2 to December. A good number of the parishes were able to do that, but there are still others who need to be supported. So then what are we saying? We need to facilitate the facilitators on the ground to make sure that that is done and done within the time given. We also have a number of pending activities. I have heard Emilian mention about that, and also the panelists who are in front of us here. They talked about a Beacon Boys program manual underway. That will help us to bridge the gap between the boys who are already in our program and they graduate at standard 8. They are joining the secondary schools, and then we didn't have a guide on the same. So we would want to bridge that gap. That is a pending activity. We have also talked about reaching out to more parishes. The Archdiocese of Nairobi it takes care of 114 parishes. We are only in 46 parishes. So we have a good number of parishes that we need to reach out to, and we try to expand our program. Though we had already developed promotion and educative materials, they are not enough. Actually, they are not enough. We need to do more. We also need to develop a good and well-thought alcohol and drug abuse program within the current Bacon Boys program that will help us curb the menace in terms of what is happening at the moment. We would also want to strengthen the church structures on the ground in a partnership with the CMA as the main stakeholders, so that we run the sustainability of this program. And in view of all this, the program requires support from partners of goodwill to keep up the spirit high, and that spirit that has been seen since the program was started until today. And hence, that is why I'm standing in front of you, talking now to our friends, partners, our stakeholders, making an appeal that we need to continue to support our community leaders. We need to continue supporting our CMA leaders at the level of the parish, our mentors. We have Caritas Nairobi, a team that also supports the CMA to run this program. We need a lot of resources to be able to do this work. We need to continue creating more awareness about the challenges we are lamenting about at this moment. We need to do all this because we want to bring what we are talking about, positive transformation in the lives of our young boys for the future society. I'm making an appeal, and a passionate appeal. And I know our friends who are with us physically here and through the virtual platform, you know that the little we normally contribute at the end of each year, it helps us support the program in the coming year. So the type of appeal that we are making today, it is for the support of this program for the year 2021. And I want to start by saying thank you very much to all who have supported us before. And we make a passionate appeal, requesting that however difficult it is, due to COVID-19 negative impact on the businesses we run, we can still do something. Let us make the contributions that we are able to. Let us do sponsorships to this program so that we continue sustaining the activities that are ongoing and the ones that are planned for next year. In a special way, I want to appreciate Britam, represented by Mercy. Thank you very much. I'm sure you also share the passion from Dr. Wairegi, and you'd want to tell him that we are still making a appeal that Britam continues supporting us. From Caritas Microfinance Bank, Patrick, you're here, and Kevin. The message is at home. Yes. And we have also a representative from Cooperative Bank. Probably not around. Purchase. Those are some of those who had said that they would attend physically. But even if they are not here physically, virtually, they are also listening to us. And so the message is at home. I have seen my colleagues at the SEFA program, microfinance activities or microfinance groups from Caritas in Nairobi, and advisory board members, Graham, Alan. Yes, we talk to our colleagues to do the necessary, whatever we normally do every year. CIC group, thank you, Harriet and Winrose. I'm sure we are communicating. Yes, so, and for all the others, probably who wanted to come, who wanted also to follow us through the virtual media, but they couldn't. We are all saying, let us support our program. So let us continue working together. It is for a good cause. And I want to say, God bless all of us, and Merry Christmas. I know it is not far from now. We are almost there. Thank you very much. And at this moment, I have a very humble role to play, and this is to invite our chief guest to come and address us. And this chief guest is one of us, a very strong stakeholder, because he also participates at the level of Caritas Nairobi as one of the board members. And outside there, he also supports the institution and the programs and the projects we run from his institution where he works. And this is Professor Peter Mwangi Waderi from Mount Kenya University. Karibu, Professor.
To Sister Director of Caritas Nairobi, Sister Mary Bassi. To Father David, is he still here? Okay. And maybe other Reverend Fathers and Sisters who are here with us. Members of Caritas Board present here and online, including Miriam, wherever she is. We have heard her. The development partners represented here physically and also who are with us online. The Caritas team in various capacities. The stakeholders present here and also who are online. Ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Allow me to start by thanking God for the blessings he continues to shed unto all of us every day in different ways, as individuals, as a church, as a community, as a nation, or as a global community. I also wish to thank Caritas Nairobi Board for giving me this opportunity to serve as the chief guest in today's function. Dear church leaders, dear Christians, ladies and gentlemen who are here and who are also listening to me online. Acknowledging strongly the theme of today's event, namely solidarity with a generation and the impact of COVID-19 on boys' lives, allow me to share a few words with you all at a title that I thought is very relevant, namely, serving as the eyes, as the hands, and as the feet and as the body of Christ. I am sure that most of you who are listening and who are present here are familiar with the famous quote written by Saint Teresa of Avila as follows, and that is where my title comes from. I quote, actually not a quotation, but I've picked most of these words that I'm going to mention. The quotation is, Christ has no body now on earth, but yours. Yours are the eyes with which he looks at the compassion on the world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do the good. Yours are the hands with which he blesses all the world. These are words from Saint Teresa of Avila, who lived between 1515 and 1582. You can read and access a lot of musical notes on the same that are online. So, ladies and gentlemen, listening to the testimonies given this morning by the Caritas Nairobi fraternity, and specifically reminding ourselves what we heard first from Sister Modesta, we heard from Michael with a very good and heavily worded and very powerful data. The words from the very informative panel, and the word from Sister Mary. Listening to all those testimonies that were given to us, and also reading through the strategic plan objectives, and I am sure, Sister, even if we don't have copies, you could make available, and I am sure it is online, and members can read. And listening to all this, and acknowledging the content of those testimonies and also the strategic plan, and listening to the massive works that have been done, which we have seen wherever we come from, I personally do see Saint Teresa of Avila's words in the actions of Caritas Nairobi. I personally, and I hope you join me in seeing those words that Christ requires our bodies to serve his people. Christ requires our eyes to see and do the works of compassion. He requires our hands and our feet to do what we do. I see that quotation very well reflected and fulfilled in the works of Caritas. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Caritas Nairobi for a job well done. And as we congratulate the Caritas Nairobi for the great deeds, I am sure the Catholic Archdiocese of Nairobi that hosts the Caritas also needs an applause. I'm fully aware that all of us do accomplish whatever we do individually or as a community through the grace of God. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the Caritas, and we have done that, and also most specifically because of the grace that they have received from God and which has helped them to serve God's people. In this regard, I also do reflect on the Caritas activities because I've been working with them in various ways, and even looking at the mission and the objectives that were cited this morning by the presentation that was given by Michael, the following words were presented. That Caritas is the aid and development agency of the Catholic Archdiocese of Nairobi, and it is inspired by moral values of the Catholic Church teachings, namely, in responding to disasters, in promoting integral human development, and also addressing the causes of poverty and conflict within the community. This is the role that Caritas Nairobi has so far executed with dedication, and we pray God to bless their effort so that over the coming years, they will manage to achieve all what they have stipulated in their strategic plan 2019-2023. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, it is also very encouraging to note that the Caritas Nairobi strategic objectives go hand in hand with the targets that are enshrined in the United Nations Strategic Development Goals 2030, the Kenya Vision 2030, the Big Four Agenda, as well as the African Union Agenda 2063. Congratulations to the team, and may you also pass my personal word of congrats to His Eminence and His Lordship, because where I come from, we know it requires a good leadership to accomplish so much. So kindly pass my compliments, and I'm sure the compliments and also the word of Asante from the persons who are here with me. At this point, as stakeholders, how do we come in? Maybe it's a time to reflect. Is it only the Caritas that can manage to be the hands and feet of Christ on earth? Is it only Caritas that can manage to be the body of Christ on earth? How can we come in? How can we join them? This is a pertinent question. The Caritas Nairobi has set a very good platform for us in reaching out to God's people and to continue being the hands of Christ, the feet of Christ, the body of Christ on earth. How do we join hands with Caritas Nairobi to support these great deeds? The Caritas Nairobi are inviting us, and those are the ones that the sister mentioned, as she also complimented and congratulated the partners who have worked with them all along. And she continues inviting us. And I'm sure we are receiving and accepting the invitation so that we can support their initiatives in the community service as a principle of accommodating our support as well as support of other people. They aspire to increase strategic engagement with organizations with whom they work with as consortia. And they have indicated that they are inviting us all as stakeholders, irrespective of where we live, whether we live in Kenya or whether we are abroad, whether we are within the Archdiocese of Nairobi or outside the Archdiocese of Nairobi, it does not matter. They are requesting us to join them in the deeds that they are doing. In this way, we can all individually or collectively as groups, institutions, communities, etc. join in supporting the Caritas Nairobi in accomplishing the great deed of mercy to the communities and to realize their strategic plan as follows. Now I give some suggestions. Through resource mobilization and funds donations, I have been with Caritas also for the last 3 years, and I'm aware a sister testified of a lot of support from various organizations and individuals. And I'm sure we are just beginning. We continue inviting the organizations and individuals even to tell the story to other people so that we can do much more. Obviously, any amount that anyone could get, we have structures at Caritas of receiving and utilizing the donations. And obviously, not only utilizing, but also communicating to the stakeholders, to the donors of how the money has been utilized. 2, voluntary technical support can be offered to Caritas. We have professionals amongst us who could offer support to the community through Caritas Nairobi initiatives. I give examples. The stakeholders who are in community training and empowerment programs can join hands with Caritas to get a chance to train the farmers and other community members in business management, for instance, where those persons who are health workers or they are working in health sector may join hands with Caritas to provide training on matters health. And I would wish at this point also to indicate that the sister will work, because I know a few organizations that do that. When you have your groups together, I personally can send one or two of those organizations that can also support what Michael and the team are doing. You know, sometimes you may talk the same thing to people, but when somebody comes and says the same thing, the reception might be different. So in this case, I will be very happy also to do that. 3, full participation and moral support towards Caritas programs in offering championship in various works at the grassroots levels. We are all aware of the Boy Child initiative that has been mentioned. We can also join and support, obviously, as men who are here. For instance, Sister has mentioned of hundreds of men. What figure did you give? 1,000 of men who you are working with? 1,450 men who are members of CMA, only in 46 parishes. And how many parishes do we have in the archdiocese? 114. So that means we have not even reached half. If we all as men who are out there get to listen to the message that is given this morning, I think we'd all wish to join and come in and support. And therefore, men in the house who are not enrolled in the initiative, like myself, ought to do so. And I'll come to this shortly as I give way forward. As a way forward of leading through an example, I happen to come from Gila, if I can introduce myself belatedly. Born in that village called Gila, where Mr. Jeroge comes from, and working at Mount Kenya University in Thika. So in this case, I wish to work very closely with the parish priests in Gila Parish, Father Kiritu, and also the CMA Archdiocese coordinator who is here, and he comes from Gila, and I'm very happy about him. I will contact, and thank you also for the kind words you mentioned about me. Yes, I avail myself once in a while when there is something. And I feel if I rate myself on what I do with him in the parish, I would give myself a very small score of 25%. I promise, and I'm saying this, that I will go back and give my initiative at Gidega so that I can add to what they are doing. In this way, I also invite other men. Wherever you come from, in whichever way or where you have friends, I think it's good to go back and help those young boys. I will also be happy to introduce, and this is also a commitment I'm trying to make, that I would be very happy to introduce Caritas Nairobi to TV 47, which is affiliated to Mount Kenya University. I wish the information that was given this morning, we could look for an opportunity for them to go. It's a national TV. It is on DSTV. And if this message, as it was given, could be aired for the whole country to hear. Because when you light that lamp, I think it's good to let people know. In any case, we have so many people in the archdiocese, from the archdiocese, who would wish to join. And I would wish, and I'd be very happy, working with the team to see how we can introduce to TV 47, but also other organizations that could be of great help to support. Secondly, I will also approach the management of my university, Mount Kenya University, where I serve as the principal corporate services, as well as approach the lecturers who work with me and professors at the university to see how, I know sister has visited us, I know we work with the sister. Again, if I rate my contribution from the university to this activity, I think it will be about 40%. And that's not something to be very happy about. I would request Sister one of these days to come and with her team so that we can meet the lecturers and see what we can do also on the ground. I will not say that we tell them to give money, but I'm telling you, support in kind is so much appreciated. Taking note that many of them also come from the Archdiocese. They are living in Nairobi, in the Nairobi Archdiocese, either in Nairobi County or Kiambu County. And I'm sure we shall see how we could help each other to earn this. We have been doing this, as I've said, but on a small scale. We can increase this. This could raise, we could also look for persons, and sister and others who are here. We know people who do capacity building, people who do various activities, and I'm sure also my university has persons who could help in this, monitoring and evaluation, and other similar activities. And I'm sure this will be of great help. Now I suggest to Caritas Nairobi to develop a dedicated structure of reaching out to the stakeholders more frequently to seek support. I happen to be a friend of Caritas, and I know they do this, mostly through this forum. But just as we have Michael and the team going to the field every day, I think there should be another team going to look for funds every day. In other words, we need to look for that support that will make us work. We're not saying we're not doing it, but I'm sure there is much more support that we shall be able. And I'm not saying this telling to sister, but it's a reflection because I am sitting with you in some meetings where you are. And finally, I am sure Caritas Nairobi will allow us also, who live outside the Catholic Archdiocese of Nairobi. I actually live I live outside the Archdiocese of Nairobi, and I serve in a neighboring diocese. But I would wish to bring my team to see what is happening here. And therefore, I request you to allow us also to come and benchmark with you in these initiatives, because you are a pace setter. Sometimes when you have achieved so much, you may not tend to see what you've done. But when people look at you from outside, they aspire and wish that they could be where you are. In this case, listening to you and knowing where I live, that we don't have the Bacon Boys program, I'd wish to bring the CMA men to meet with Joshua and his team so that we can also start such an initiative. Allow us and others to benchmark with you. This could be done through also, we have open days, farmers' open days. We can make them, this year I know it was not possible because of COVID, but I think we could make them much more prominent to be national open opportunities for other people to come and know and see what we are doing. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that, as earlier on cited by quoting Teresa of Avila, St. Teresa of Avila's quote and words, we have seen people who have served as fit to give their deeds to Christ and to people of God. And therefore, in this case, let us show the world so that the world can come and learn from ourselves. As I conclude, I urge all of us also to continue doing the best we can in serving God through his people. And also let us all continue, I request that we all continue praying hard and harder for the fastest eradication of coronavirus as we take care. Sister was the first one to wish you Merry Christmas, and I join her in that. It's not too early. As I also wish you and everybody and organizations here present a prosperous and blessed 2021. Thank you for your audience, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I think we need to have a good clap for Professor. Please. So thank you, Professor, for your kind words, and quite deep. I like the challenges at the end of your presentation. Being a resource mobilizer, so I really rhyme with what you said about resource mobilization strategy. And I'm not promising anything, but the point is at home. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all the invited guests, I'm happy for your patience. I know the timing was not on our side, but I think we are not all that badly off. I think we are late, na kitu kama dakika, I think around 30 minutes. But I'm happy that you have all been so patient. And I'm also addressing the virtual participants, those who are online. They have been following us in the 3 media platforms, that's Facebook, website, and Zoom meeting. And before we wind up, because I'll invite Eric Gishobi, who is our Economic Empowerment Coordinator, for the vote of thanks. I just need to do no, I'll do later after Eric. So let me introduce Eric Gishobi, who is our Economic Empowerment Coordinator, quite a successful program, and he has really done good work to give vote of thanks. Eric.
Thank you. Allow me also to take the advantage of studying here. God is good. So our chief guest, Professor Wanderi, our director, Caritas Nairobi, and board members present, our leaders in self-help program, CMA, and all guests invited here, my colleagues. It is, I take this opportunity to really celebrate with all of us here. It is a time that we are really looking back to where we are coming from the year 2017 to now. When this program was started, and Joshua actually mentioned it, it wasn't quite clear to all of us where we were heading to. And especially to some of us who are young fathers. we were thinking like we are there, and our children are also where we are. But as we went to the ground, we found that kwa ground kwa kweli vitu ni tofauti. And really, it was a necessity that we come in and make some impact to this program. So I want to start by the ones of the former president and the CEO of the United Nations Foundation, who said that giving is not just about making a donation. It's about making a difference. So just to echo the ones of the professor, it's not just about money, but every small little thing that you do to make a difference out there, it's really counted. And today we are taking this opportunity to thank those who came up with the dream of thinking about the boy child, the dream of giving back to our boy child. So I take this chance, first of all, to thank God, who has really been on our side, who has helped us this far, even amidst of the pandemic, to make us stand here today and celebrate. It was our intention as the Archdiocese of Nairobi Caritas to have the dinner and to have everybody to join us in the celebration. But again, he has his own ways, and he thought it is good that we do it this year differently, and we thank him for that. The gift of health that he has been able to bless us with, we don't just take it for granted. We really thank him for that. We also thank in absentia His Eminence and the entire office of the bishop, that is the bishop, His Eminence, Archbishop, and auxiliary bishop, for that shepherdship that he has given us. He has been leading us, showing us the way, guiding us even when sometimes we see like we are not doing it right. He comes and tells us this is the best way to go. So we really thank him and the entire diocese fraternity for the support and also for making sure that we are on the right path. Thanking Caritas Nairobi Managing Board for seeing it workable and also taking it up and implementing it. We thank the leadership and we thank that guidance that we continue to receive from that particular board. Thank you all, the invited guests, for finding time here. We just invited you and hoped that you would turn up. So coming here is really honor, and we do not take it for granted. We are really humbled for your being here, for your participation in this celebration. I hope and pray that each and every one of us is going home with something, is going home having been sent, is going home to give the good message to the others, and indeed we will see results starting to flow from tomorrow or from even today. So we really appreciate you. We honor you. We are humbled by your presence, and we are humbled by the contributions that you are making. Thank you to the organizers of this event. I'm sure it was a whole headache trying to balance the physical and virtual kind of a meeting. I know it wasn't easy, but you've made it, and we really thank you and ask that God bless you. Continue adding more wisdom to what you're doing. To our technical team, again, thank you so much. For us, we may not understand what you go through when you're planning for that. We may not understand what goes through your mind when you know that some people who are not here are relying on you to follow this particular event. So we really thank you so much, and please feel appreciated in a very big way. Again, I know after this, we have been prepared something to put into our stomach. That's why it is called a luncheon, because we will have lunch. So I also thank those who are concerned, the hospitality team, those who provided us with a glass of juice as we came in, and those who continue to make sure that we have our interests taken care of. So thank you so much, all of you. Feel so much appreciated. And as I finish again with the words of Mahatma Gandhi, who said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Go and serve others. Go and bring those boys, enable them to come, help them, and let us always embrace our boy child. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Eric, for the short words and vote of thanks. So I also take this opportunity to thank you for giving me easy time. All the people we called in here to either talk or moderate, I sincerely thank you from deep down my heart as an MC. And as we close the meeting, just some few announcements. And thank you, Eric, actually, because the refreshment was one of the announcement. And I thank you for kuwapea shukran to invite them before I did. So Caritas Nairobi has prepared something, just some bitings, just opposite hapa kwa canteen. So just feel free, it's quite spacious one. So haitakuwa squeezed. And after that, we have just a very small gift. So on your way out, there's a registration desk where you did your registration. You'll meet some beautiful ladies there. So just pick a gift. And the last one is to thank all our virtual participants who have been with us. They have been with us for more than 1.5 hours. And we had said it's around, actually more than 2 hours. We sincerely thank you. And I think as Prof was saying, I think we're in a changing time, because, not Prof, but I think his sister Mary, our director, was saying about embracing the technology, because that's the way COVID-19 came with its own thing, and we have to embrace technology. So we were able to do this luncheon physically and virtually, and quite a number of people joined us. I think through our technical team, if you do like this recorded, the whole event, we have been recording it in cloud. And so also we'll give you some data, how many people have joined online, where they have been, where they were, so that we can see how far we were able to reach. I think it will also help us as Caritas Nairobi to know where our members are. I thank you very much. And well, I wanted to invite Sister Modesta or Joshua to do the final prayers and also pray for food, but hayuko. So, kuna mtu atajitolea? Oh, okay. Kuna mtu anajitolea ama? Wagila. Unajua ulikuwa na fidget tu, najua wewe will come over. Please.
Let us thank God. Almighty God, we come to you thanking you for this lovely meeting, for this lovely launch that we've had. Thank you for the blessings that you've given us right from the start till the end now. We trust and believe that all what we've done here is a success, and you will bless the work of our hands. Almighty God, as we go, we say thank you for waking us up and for bringing us here and all what we have done today. And also, as we go to have a meal, we kindly say, Lord God Father, let the meal be a blessing to us and in our bodies, and let it nourish us with your love. We ask you all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
So thank you. So karibuni kwa lunch, and I officially sign out from all social media platforms. Please. So thank you. So